Hey, what's up guys? So, I am aware I've made a video very similar to this one in the past. However, that video is, let's just say it's bad. Now, I know it wasn't the worst tutorial out there, but it's far from being really good. And since then, I have improved a lot when it comes to PvPing on a controller, and I think that this video is going to be quite helpful to those who actually want to get better. And just a disclaimer before I actually start this video, I need to get this very simple concept into people's heads because they just do not seem to understand. Getting good at anything, especially on controller, takes a lot of practice. Because after like a week of practicing, people are going to be like, but ItzSafeCase, your tutorial didn't work. Like honestly, I don't know why you guys think this will be that easy, but I will try my best. Now with that out of the way, I would sincerely enjoy if you liked and subscribed, since I will be going in depth for this one. Heck, I'm even making a full-on script for this video, which I never do. Anyways, enjoy the video. So when it comes to comboing on controller, it basically boils down to three main points. The first one being aim, the second one being movement, and the third one being your clicking method. I'll leave timestamps for each point in the description. Along with this, I'll also be showing off a bonus thing at the end, which helps me get a lot of combos, so you should stick around. Alright, so for the first topic I'm going to be talking about is aim. When it comes to comboing or PvPing in general, aim is one of the most crucial skills, with movement falling right behind it. Now I am also aware that I've made a video on this exact point in the past, so I'd suggest checking that out for a basic understanding. However, I'll still try to explain this concept within an actually reasonable time frame for this video. So when it comes to aim, you have to first find the right sensitivity. The most ideal sensitivity is one where you're able to track opponents quite well even if they're strafing. If you're far from this though, no worries. Just start at a sensitivity you can control and increase it over time. For instance, I play with 90 sensitivity on a PS4 controller, even though I used to play with 80 or something around there. And a majority of the time I can aim almost perfectly. So just find the right sensitivity and you're golden. The second thing you have to keep in mind when improving your aim is the way you're holding your analog stick. For instance, I always have my thumb on my analog stick and my jump button at once. With the way I hold my analog stick, I'm able to have smooth and accurate aim. Lastly, when it comes to aim, you have to keep in mind that the only way to get better is by practicing. The way I do this is by playing PvP game modes such as Treasure Wars and Skywars on the Hive, or I go on PvP servers. Arguably one of the best PvP servers out there on Bedrock Edition has to be Zeqa. It's just an overall amazing server with a lot of games to choose from. Moving on from aim, we have the next most important thing, movement. What I'm including in this section is strafing as well as jump resetting, along with another thing that you need to know in order to keep combos alive. So let's just start off with strafing. When it comes to starting a combo or even holding a combo, strafing proves to be very effective. Strafing is essentially just moving in patterns, whether they be random or not, in order to try to get your opponent to mess up their aim. However, I do need to say one thing first. Don't let strafing completely sacrifice your aim, since I see a lot of early controller players do this, because what they do is they end up making their movements so unpredictable that not even they themselves can hit another person. For instance, some common strafe patterns are moving in one direction for a bit when trading hits, and then switching to another side. Another strafing pattern which is commonly used is switching sides rapidly, so switching from left to right when trading hits. What I do personally is continue sprinting forward, but after each hit during trading, I strafe left, then right once I get hit again. And just a quick note, I don't completely go right or go completely left when doing this. I'll show a clip on screen so you know what I'm talking about. Before I start talking about jump resetting, I do want to apologize if I sound a bit sick, because I am. Anyways, jump resetting isn't the most important thing, however it could help immensely in order to start a combo. However, if done wrong, this can be more of a coin flip. On one side you have the chance of taking no KB and starting a combo, but on the other side you have the chance of being sent straight up into the air with a jump, and thus giving your opponent the perfect opportunity to get a combo on you instead. So let me just go ahead and explain what jump resetting really is. It's basically just pressing your jump button at the same time you get hit by your opponent, which leads to you taking 0 KB. Now I do want to quickly mention this. It does take a bit of practice in order to get down, but once you get really good at it, it can help you get a lot of combos more easily. And just a side note, but you typically want to do this only during trades. Now let's move on to the important concept I was referring to earlier, and this concept is knowing the distance between you and your opponent. Let me explain. When comboing someone, you need to know the distance between yourself and your opponent which you have in the air. Usually, once I get a person in a combo, I'll walk around them first, making sure I'm not in their hit range. Then I start doing tricks such as jumping around them, flicking, crouching, going into third person, etc. Once you play a bit and you start a fair amount of combos, you will be able to tell when or when not your opponent is able to punch you, thus most likely ending your combo. This is the key to keeping combos alive for long periods of time. The last main topic I'll be referring to for today's video is your clicking method. When it comes to this topic, there is a lot of variety. For instance, there's jitter clicking, butterfly clicking, drag clicking, normal clicking, and timing hits, just to name the main ones. However, in order to get combos more easily, you will need a clicking method that is very consistent and is able to hit your opponent right after the last hit. Now let me just explain, since I may have lost some of you there. When you're fighting someone, they turn red after you punch them. After less than a second, they go back to normal. Then once you hit them again, they turn red. The more you're able to minimize this gap, in which they go back to normal, the better chance you have at comboing them. This is the reason that timing hits work so well when compared to normal clicking, because you're hitting the person right after they finish turning red. This is also why high CPS is such an advantage, since it also minimizes this gap. Here's a short clip I got on Zeqa. You can see that the gap in which they go back to normal is barely even visible. As for the clicking method you should use though, it's really just up to you, since there's many good ones out there. Personally, I just time hits with 4 CPS, since it minimizes this gap quite well. If you're just starting out though, I'd suggest doing 2 CPS, since it's easier to do. Then you can learn 4 CPS, which is more reliable than 2 CPSing, in case you have bad hit reg like me. Now it's time for the bonus tip. And let me just start off by saying this one isn't necessary by any means. This is just something I do in order to get a bit of an edge or advantage over my opponents. And what I'm referring to is hit selecting. Every time I fight someone, I always decide when I should hit them. Since I have 20 to 30 ping on every featured server, as well as almost every popular PvP server, my KB really isn't delayed, which is a bad thing for me, since the person that gets the last hit usually gets a combo, and a majority of the time they have higher ping than me. So to counter this, I try to replicate having high ping by hitting a bit later than I should. So here's what I usually do. The higher the ping someone has, the later I hit. The lower the ping my opponent has, the earlier I hit. However, this isn't the same for everyone, which is why I also base myself off of when the person gets their first hit, so then I adjust from there. And just like that, I've taught you guys basically everything I know about PvPing on a controller. And once again, I'd be really grateful if you liked and subscribed, since it has taken me quite some time to make this video for you guys. And since you've made it to the end of the video, why not subscribe to my second channel as well? I post random crap there whenever I feel like it. Come to think of it, that doesn't really seem that different from this channel. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care, and on that note, see ya!